Hi, my name is Kirk Baker, and I am a science teacher here in Central Missouri. I teach biology, I teach chemistry, and I teach physical science. And my background is having a bachelor's degree in biology from Berman University, and I'm currently working on my master's in biology with an emphasis in education through Grand Canyon University. For today's video, we're going to be discussing some effective communication techniques for higher education. As we go through this video, we're going to discuss some different strategies to help foster effective communication, especially with adult learners. We're going to discuss some of the challenges in communication within higher education, and we're going to suggest some strategies for de-escalating conflict between instructors and between learners as well. So to start with, we're going to discuss 3 strategies to implement to help foster effective communication with some adult learners. And one of the best strategies that you can utilize is to decide why and to decide what you are trying to communicate with your students. Basically, you got to figure out what is the end result I'm trying to achieve with my communication right here, and what am I wanting to gain from my communication. Once you figure out where you want to go, you're able to easily figure out how you can communicate to get to that end point. It's also important for you to know your audience, what sort of background, what sort of personalities, you're dealing with your students, with your audience there. It's also important to make personal connections. That way you feel a sense of community and a sense of establishment, or establishing community with your students as well. It's also important to make these connections. That way your students feel more at ease and they feel more comfortable being around you, and that allows your communication to be more effective. There are some challenges, though, to communicating in the classroom. One of them is when teachers try to over-clarify certain topics. Usually teachers might find something really important and they over-repeat it, and it gets annoying for the students. And teachers may often over-explain simple ideas right here. It might be a good idea for teachers to purposely allow a little vagueness, so that way it forces students to have some critical thinking and to try to figure out on their own some of these things that the teacher's trying to communicate. Another challenge with communicating is the balance of going through all the content, but yet still being able to build personal relationships. And even if you're able to cover all the content, if students were not able to make personal connections with each other and with their teacher, they might not come away enjoying that class, and they might not have the intrinsic motivation that you were hoping to give to them. So it's okay to sacrifice some content time in order to help build community and establish a great relationship within your students. Sometimes conflict does arise in the classroom, and some strategies to help alleviate that conflict. First of all, take a deep breath. That gives you a few seconds to pause, to collect yourself, and to focus on not escalating the situation. So a deep breath before speaking. It's also important to listen. A lot of times people, when they have conflict, don't necessarily want things to go their way. They just want to have their way heard and acknowledged. So by listening to the other party and not interrupting them, you can really reduce conflict and reduce tension. And another great strategy is to utilize unaggressive body language. Don't be too close to the person you're in conflict with. Don't make aggressive motions. Allow your body to be a calming essence during this conflict. Effective communication can really support student success, and it can help build a positive classroom environment. A recent study said that over 20% of higher education students feel that they have imposter syndrome, which means they feel like they do not belong in their current educational setting, and that somehow they've gotten there and they don't know how. So by effectively communicating with your students and letting them communicate with each other, they can help alleviate some of those feelings and actually get a feeling of belonging in their academic situation. And effective communication can also help remove barriers between students and their teachers, and it can create a great positive relationship. I hope this video has been educational. Again, my name is Kirk Baker, and I'm excited to be helping you guys figure out some great communication strategies.